Arsenal have officially reached an agreement to sign Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace for a transfer fee of up to £68 million. This is a major financial deal, carrying deep historical and romantic significance for Arsenal fans, as once donned the academy kid at Colney in his early days chasing his football dream, and now, after years of battling, he returns to the Emirates at the age of 27, in the context of the club aiming to compete for the Premier League title and conquer Europe. As his arrival promises to be a key piece both technically and spiritually, the Eberechi Eze transfer to Arsenal was finalized at a fee of £68 million, equivalent to the release clause that had previously expired. This is no small sum, reflecting Arsenal's strong determination to bring a top Premier League attacking star to the Emirates. An agreement has been reached between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, with only final formalities left before the official announcement. According to the plan, Eze will still play in Palace's Conference League playoff match against Fredrikstad before undergoing a medical and completing his contract with the North London club. This demonstrates the respect both clubs have for Palace, as well as Eze's professionalism during the transition period. The man behind this deal is sporting director Andrea Berta. Together with club vice president Tim Lewis, he directly managed the negotiations, ensuring the deal was completed swiftly and smoothly. This is part of Arsenal's personnel restructuring strategy, showing Berta has made an immediate impact in his first summer. The signing of Eze is not only driven by ambitions to upgrade the squad, but also by necessity. In the opening match of the new season, Kai Havertz suffered an injury and faces a potential long-term absence. This is a significant loss, forcing Arsenal to act immediately to avoid a personnel crisis, despite an attack already boasting quality. Names like Victor Gyökeres, Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, Noni Madueke, and, of course, Bukayo Saka, the creativity and flair on the left flank still haven't reached explosive levels. Thus, signing Eze is seen as the solution to the absence of Kai Havertz, while also adding a dynamic attacking option. Moreover, Eze's presence allows Arteta to rotate the squad more effectively in a season where Arsenal must compete on multiple fronts, from the Premier League and FA Cup to the Champions League. Eze's versatile playing style gives the Spanish coach more options when adjusting tactics or changing the match tempo. Notably, Arsenal weren't the only club vying for Eze's signature. Arch rivals Tottenham pursued him from the start of the transfer window and were ready to pay a similar amount. At several points, Spurs were even considered frontrunners in the race for the English midfielder. However, with the decisiveness of Arsenal's leadership and the emotional factor as being an Arsenal fan from childhood and having trained at Colney, the Gunners swooped in at the last moment. This is both a triumph at the negotiating table and a move with immense psychological significance. Beating their bitter rivals in a key transfer deal is akin to a victory on the pitch, further boosting confidence and excitement among Arsenal fans ahead of the new season. Eberechi Eze is not just a talented attacking player. He brings the skill set Arsenal desperately need. At Palace, Eze stood out for his ability to keep the ball under pressure, technical dribbling, and escaping presses with confident touches. His strength lies in one-on-one duels and creating differences in deadlocked moments. He has scored numerous goals from bold solo runs, capable of unlocking opportunities with a single turn or sprint. This makes Eze a weapon to tear apart defensive structures, something Arsenal often lack against deep-lying, compact opponents. Beyond a classic number 10, Eze can play multiple roles: left winger, central attacking midfielder, or even left-sided midfielder in a possession-based system. This versatility gives Arteta tactical flexibility. Signing Eze isn't about directly replacing Havertz, but expanding attacking options. Havertz is a false nine or attacking midfielder who tends to drift into the box, while Eze excels at creating space from the flank and pulling opponents out of position. With Eze, Arteta can deploy Mikel Merino or Trossard as a false striker while Eze operates on the left flank, adding variety to the attack. Notably, this balances the squad while Saka and Dedegaard make Arsenal's right flank a dominant force. The left has often relied too heavily on Martinelli. Eze fills that gap, bringing flair and creativity to balance both wings. Additionally, as fits Mikel Arteta's pressing and possession philosophy, he can engage in high pressing, process quickly in transitions, and isn't afraid to drop back to support defensively when needed. This makes him a flexible piece in any system for 3-3, for 2-3-1, or 3-5. Returning to Arsenal nearly 2 decades after leaving the Colney Academy gives Eze a special story. He is a £68 million blockbuster signing, meaning he will face immense pressure from fans, media, and the club internally. While other new signings may have time to adapt, Eze is almost expected to make an immediate impact. If he doesn't integrate quickly, public opinion could easily turn this romantic return into an impulsive signing rather than a strategic addition. This will undoubtedly be the biggest mental challenge Eze must overcome. Despite Kai Havertz's absence, Arsenal's attack still boasts a highly quality lineup. This means Eze isn't guaranteed a starting spot and must prove his difference. Martinelli and Trossard are already cohesive on the left, Saka owns the right flank, and Jakirs is the clear #1 striker. In this context, Eze needs to assert his value through his game-changing ability and tactical versatility. Only by showing qualities his teammates lack can Eze become a top choice in Mikel Arteta's system. Immediately after Arsenal finalized the agreement to sign Eberechi Eze, numerous reputable English newspapers and journalists reported extensively. David Ornstein of The Athletic called it a strategic, urgent, yet logical deal. According to Ornstein, Kai Havertz's injury forced Arsenal to find an immediate replacement, and Eze is a safe but highly promising choice. Other outlets like The Guardian, Daily Mail, and Sky Sports unanimously praised Eze, seeing him as one of the Premier League's rare creative players capable of making an instant impact at a big club. On forums and social media, Arsenal fans are buzzing with excitement after Eze's signing was confirmed. Many call it a dream signing, a forgotten son of Colney returning in glory. Some fans are particularly thrilled that Arsenal snatched Eze from Tottenham in the race for his signature, amplifying the deal's symbolic and emotional value. Many also expect Eze to bring creativity, flair, and London street flair to Arsenal's attack. In Arsenal's history, few deals carry the romantic and nostalgic weight of Eberechi Eze. His career is paralleled with the story of the immortal legend Ian Wright at Highbury. Both Wright and Eze made their names at Palace, if Ian Wright shone. In the 80s and 90s, becoming an enduring inspiration for the Eagles, Eze is the modern Palace maestro, shaping their dynamic attacking play. Coincidentally, both joined Arsenal at the same age of 27. For Ian Wright, it was the moment he rose to the Premier League's peak, becoming Arsenal's greatest ever goalscorer before Thierry Henry broke his record. The big question for Eze is whether he can replicate that legendary journey. Wright was seen as a gamble when he joined Arsenal, but became a legend. The question is whether Eze can become the new Wright at Arsenal. The Eze transfer officially closes, one of the most emotional transfer stories of the 2025 summer. For Arsenal, Eze brings a fresh, creative, and dynamic attacking option capable of filling gaps in Mikel Arteta's squad. Above all, it's the story of a player once discarded at Colney returning to the Emirates as a mature star. This is a deal carrying the faith, expectations, and love of the fans. With Eze's arrival, the Gunners have more reason to believe the 2025-26 season will be an explosive turning point where they can compete for the Premier League title and make a mark in the Champions League.